Hello once again, grain traders. I'm meteorologist Sean Sublette for CropProphet. It's time for the forecast of the forecast discussion and verification for this Monday, August 4th, 2025. This is when we review how our forecast of the forecast from Friday played out on this Monday morning. So we turn the clock back to Friday, and this is the probability forecast of how the ECMWF ensemble mean would play out this Monday morning. And at that time, we had a higher probability signal from the Corn Belt extending to the eastern Great Lakes of it being warmer than normal in the week one forecast, and a couple of pockets of cooler than normal probabilities, 40, 50, 60% across the Wheat Belt, and the secondary area of cooler than normal probabilities, little more than 50% such across the Southern Appalachians. And then this broad area in gray, which is actually a 40 to 50% probability of near normal. And then we look at the actual ECMWF ensemble mean this morning, picked up that cooler than normal signal very well. It is going to be cool and damp really through a lot of the Southern Appalachians and the interior southeast. Also picking up the cooler than normal conditions here in the ECMWF ensemble mean this Monday morning across the Montana area of the Wheat Belt, and the warmer than normal conditions forecast by the ensemble mean across a lot of the Great Lakes. Then we go to week two. Again, we take it back to Friday last week, and there was really an absence of any true signal outside of Lake Superior that there would be some probability of cooler than normal conditions across the continental United States in days 8 to 14, that being week two. Again, where we see it in white, it doesn't meet that 40% probability threshold, but everywhere else, 40, 50, some places, upwards of 60% probability of coming in warmer than normal on the ECMWF ensemble mean this Monday morning, and that is basically the dominant signal, warmer than normal for most of the country from the ECMWF ensemble mean. A couple tiny pockets here or there in Alabama and Georgia, but really warm and dry are the signals for week two. With regard to precipitation, again, we go back to Friday and the forecast of the forecast then of the ECMWF ensemble mean this Monday morning, 40% likelihood that the model would come in wetter than normal across a lot of the Wheat Belt extending through the Dakotas, down here into Iowa, Nebraska, let's say Lincoln, Omaha, and just to the west side of Des Moines, and then that absence of signal. Again, not meeting that 40% threshold in this whiter shade for most of the actual Corn Belt. And then we see this 40 to 50% likelihood drier than normal across the mid-Atlantic and into the interior northeast. Northeast signal holds up pretty well there. And likewise, we do see these pockets of wetter than normal conditions in the ECMWF ensemble mean for the week one forecast, days 1 through 7. Then in week two, days 8 to 14, the dry signal really isn't dominant everywhere, but we see the absence of wet signal, which is still quite telling. While most places not really reaching that 40% threshold, we do see a few pockets here of 40 to 50% likelihood that the model would come in normal from Friday for this Monday. And then when we look at the ECMWF ensemble mean this Monday, dry really is the dominant theme. We do see a couple of small pockets across the Corn Belt and down into the Mid-South, the Tennessee Valley, which may be a little bit wetter than normal, but not much. When we weight the whole area of the Corn Belt by production, about 81% of the Corn Belt is going to be wetter than normal in the days 8 to 14 forecast from the ECMWF ensemble mean. But despite the warmer and drier conditions expected getting into mid-August, July was pretty good. So the markets, at least so far, don't look too worried. And don't forget, next week, sign up for the August Grain Market Weather Webinar. We are back on Wednesday, August 13th, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. Go to the bit.ly link below, CP August Webinar, to sign up. Again, thanks to everybody who joined us in June and July. We'll do it again a week from this Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. I'm meteorologist Sean Sublette for CropProphet. We'll talk to you again on Friday.